Hello, warriors. Welcome to the You Movement. I am B. And today I wanted to talk a little bit of one of the weirder phenomenons that goes on in a spiritual awakening, which is the maturation of lost aspects of self. Now that sounds very convoluted and confusing. I'm going to get into it a little bit. One of the things, and I've talked in a lot of videos about the fracturing that occurs when we experience trauma, is, a little piece of us gets stunted at that age, and no matter what age, so there's like a little piece of us. So when people talk about the inner child, I always have viewed it as the inner children. Like we have like loads. If you've had as many traumas as I have, then you have loads. So I look at it like a village. There's a plethora of little mini-me's running around. As far as, being in a bassinet mini-me, to 2-year-old mini-me, 3-year-old mini-me, and all the way along. And then also, our inner teenagers and our other inner, if we've had wounds in our adult years, then there's going to be a stunt there. So it's like taking a snapshot in that moment, right there in that moment, and a timeline is cut short. And so through what ends up happening is, our world becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and more constricted as ego runs the show. And one of the things that I noticed through my own observation is when I was going through all of the processes of soul retrieval and going back into the trauma response, something would trigger an emotion would be, and I'd be back into that original place, is, it was a unification of those wounded mini-me's. So it's like becoming one big, now what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is like a whole little bit of little minions coming together to make one big minion. And those little fractured aspects of cells, their timeline was cut short. So they need to be given it's like merging. Look here, I'm using a driving analogy. Wow. When you merge, your timeline is soon to end. But the problem was, this mini-me wasn't allowed to merge appropriately into unification. It was sent off. So now as it comes back, it's merging, but for a period of time, there's kind of two realities going on. There's the reality of I'm speeding up to get in alignment with my highest self, because the lane is going to end. And when it ends, I'm going to have to merge and into traffic and become one. So that timeline gets reinstated when we retrieve that aspect of ourselves that's been lost in the void. And for a period of time, it needs to live its life, which means we need to listen and show up and show compassion and give that inner child or inner adolescent everything that it didn't get the first time round. So if that inner child needed validation, we need to give it the validation. If in that moment of angst and struggle, what you needed most was to be held and rocked, or listened to, or stroked, comforted, that inner child needs that now. And when we give that inner child what it needs now, it gains up the speed that it requires so that it can merge with higher self you and become one. So in this healing process, it's a constant state of, okay, what does my inner child or inner adolescent need now? And how can I give myself the freedom to do that? So throughout my awakening, there have been many times that, for me, what my child needed was acknowledgement. And, because I was gaslit so much, I didn't receive a safe container to express myself, to be heard. So I've created my own container out in the world. I express my truth through my YouTube, through my writing. It's my opportunity to give my inner selves the opportunity to finally speak what it is that they've been holding on to my whole life. As well as that, there have been times where what I needed was a lot of comfort. And so I can't even begin to explain the amount of hours upon hours upon hours that I do somatic movement. And somatic movement for me has been a lot of rocking, like a lot of rocking. We're talking, we're not saying, when it comes to my healing, I don't do I've done a half an hour of rocking today. That's my healing. No. If I'm in the throes of abandonment wounds from when I was 2, that's 6 to 8 hours. That's a full day of it's okay. It's okay. Because my inner child didn't get it then. So I need to give it to it now, is what I need to do, so that it can merge and become whole again. If I do the exact same thing that my parents did to me, which is to shush, stop it, don't be dramatic, be silent, don't be heard, or how about I smack you, or how about I be mean to you. Now, I struggle with that one because my own superego becomes highly activated when I'm going through all of these soul retrievals, because that was a coping strategy. When I talk about superego, I'm talking about that inner critic that's particularly hard. And I got a good few comments on my other video that I should be less hard on myself. And I'm like, well, I would love to. Been working on that one for a really, really long time. When it comes to, the inner critic, which Jung or Freud, I can't recall who originally coined the term superego. I think it's kind of a perfect phrase, not because of the reason why they did it, but because I conjure up images of Loki from the Avengers as my superego or my inner critic. This powerful being that's gone out of control and is doing things that harm me now instead of for the collective good. So, yes, my inner critic looks like Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, but he needs to be quiet and put under control. So I have been working very hard for a number of years to help quiet and work together as a team and bring him in to the mix instead of rejecting him and saying, no, fuck off, but bring him into the mix and saying, okay, listen, I get it. I understand. The reason why you get so critical and so judgmental is because it was a shield. If I prepare myself for what's coming, then I'm protected. And I talked in the last video I did about this brass shield that's being ripped away from me so that I can create a greater sense of my own vulnerability and my own truth. And part of that shield is the inner critic, is the super ego that says, you're not doing enough, you're stupid, you're amounting to nothing, nobody likes you, blah blah blah. It's mine's ape. As I said, he's Loki. He's not serving the greater good at all. But instead, I have to be okay, listen, I understand why you came into existence. You came into existence because you were trying to protect me from other people criticizing me and ridiculing me and gaslighting me and hurting me. And so if I could foresee what the criticism was before it came, I was like prepared for it. I even said years ago, I did cognitive behavioral therapy, and I was explaining this process of mentally preparing to go and visit my mother. And he said, talk me through this. And I said, well, the present moment in time, I have blue hair, so that could be a potential target. I'm overweight, that could be a potential target. I'm this, I'm that, so that could, I always had to list out in my mind's eye, hence shield myself, all the potential targets, because when a target came in and I was unprepared for it, it hurt more. It stung more. It was like coming in from the back and getting it. And, I wasn't prepared for that one. She'd come out with some ridiculous comment about, my intelligence. And I was like, damn, I didn't see that one coming. But when you can see it coming, this shield, you're like, okay, I know I'm going out in the world and I'm going to like protect my heart as much as I can, because she's going to insult my hair. She's going to insult my weight. She's going to insult my marriage. She's probably going to like give me a nasty look. So I was prepared for those. And so the thing is, I want to live a life now where I can take this off and be at peace without fear that something is coming in at me, right? So like, she's dead. She can't say mean things to me anymore. And the other people that used to do mean things are gone. So they can't attack me either, So I'm learning and cultivating safety in my vulnerability as me without these shields. And these two things kind of tie together because, so first I'm talking about timelines of our inner child, and then I'm talking about shielding and masking. Okay, so I'm kind of merging them together as well, merging the two ideas together, because when we reactivate and give that inner child or inner adolescent the opportunity to merge back in with self, as I said, for a period of time, they want to live out their dreams and fantasies too. They don't just want like nurturance, which they do want. I'm just saying that they don't just want that. They also want to live out their childhood dreams. And so for a lot of my awakening, I have been, in fact, living out some adolescent dreams. I did a film. I joined an improv group. I did stand-up comedy once. I got myself an agent. Then I got myself a second agent. And so I was doing a lot of things that my inner adolescent wanted to do. And as I step, my adolescent self is merging back into wholeness with me. And with it, the need to fully express my adolescent is dying. I do believe the egoic identity that is, the cool kid. I wanted to be the cool kid. I wanted to be the cool kid so much in my life. And I didn't get to be the cool kid because I didn't get to buy the clothes that I wanted to buy. I didn't get to cut my hair the way I wanted to cut my hair. I didn't get to do the cool kid things. So I didn't in my adolescence because I was surviving. I was too busy surviving. So in the last few years, and you've even seen me on camera, I've had crazy fucking haircuts. I've had the mohawk that I always wanted to have as the cool kid. I got myself a black bomber jacket that I always wanted to own when I was about 15. A black bomber jacket, with the orange interior and zipped up to go with my Doc Martens. Oh, yeah. And I bought a lot of clothes to let my 15-year-old self come out. Somehow in the mix, it's like my inner adolescent was a 14-year-old boy. At least one of them is, was this 14-year-old boy. So I had bought a lot of clothes, and I'd gone through my wardrobe because I've got the world's smallest wardrobe. And I'm like, okay, I got to pick and choose what clothes I'm keeping and who is the new me now that I'm integrating that's into me. So some of the clothes that I've pulled out of my wardrobe, like I was obsessed with Vans. So we've got my Cool Chick Vans, t-shirt here. I got a whole shit ton of them. I got my Vans hoodie. I loved this hoodie, okay? I absolutely loved this hoodie. I was like, this is the coolest hoodie in the fucking world. So it is. And so I, for the longest time, wore this hoodie. And the bag goes on. The bag goes on, my acid tie-dye, And here I am, a 50-year-old woman wearing these clothes. Why? Because I was allowing my wounded adolescent to finally wear what she wanted to wear, to finally be who she wanted to be. And I was fine with it. I was absolutely fine with it. And what has happened, because I listened, and this means anything. Allow yourself to listen to, how do you want to dress? If you want to wear a frilly little Holly Hobby dress because, your 8-year-old self was mad into Laura Ingalls, who are you hurting? Who are you hurting by letting your inner child come out? Now, my inner child, as I said, was a 14-year-old skater boy that wanted to have its chance to express itself in the world. And I'm donating all of these clothes. I've got a bag full of them because I don't need to wear them anymore. That's not who I am anymore. That egoic aspect of self that was fractured and wounded off has been reintegrated back in. And, I don't need to dress cool to be cool. So I am. I don't. I honestly thought that, if I was cool back in the day, people would like me and they wouldn't bully me and they'd be nice to me and they'd respect me. So they would. But you know what? In letting myself have a few years of wearing a mohawk and wearing Vans clothes, I still have some. I'm just getting the ones that are like over the top 14-year-old boyish because I'm maturing. I'm maturing at rapid speed. Last year as a 14-year-old boy, and this year I'm a 52-year-old woman. It's great. This is the process of spiritual maturation, which is what this awakening process is. It is us awakening ourselves and allowing ourselves to grow into our fullness, into our adulthood, pulling back together all the bits that had been broken off and all the lives that we never got to live, the dreams, the hopes, the cool shoes, if as an 8-year-old, you always wanted to wear a pair of Louis Vuittons. Fuck, I didn't. But if you did, go find a used pair and wear your fucking Louis Vuittons everywhere, is what I'm saying. Just do it. That's live the dreams that you didn't get to live. Because what happens is when you do it and you bring it to fulfillment, like doing that movie was like, oh my God, wow, this is the coolest moment. This is what I always wanted to do. Getting like an IMDb listing or whatever it is was like the coolest thing. And then I was like, I tried for a little bit thereafter and people saw back in January, I got a call back for, okay, those that don't know, my background was acting because I was so good at it, because I'm a masker. Fawning became my go-to from the time I was 3. That's how I survived. Oh, mom needs me to behave in a certain way. I'm going to perform. So when I was in grade 4, I got accepted to a special arts school because I was a very talented actress, because it's called masking. And I did a lot of theater training as a young person. And my hopes and dreams was to always be, you know, in front of camera and performing, not being on camera and being me, but performing, you know, doing artistic and humorous and different things, you know. Oh, Mr. Darcy. Oh, you know, like I wanted to have fun. That was my idea of like heaven. Of course, because I actually enjoyed it, you know, I was at this school because it made my mother look good, right? Because when you're raised by a narcissist, you're only an extension of so you're performing through them. I was her puppet. She was the puppeteer, and energetically, her arm was in me all the time, telling me how to speak, what to do, what to say. And so the only ways that I could rebel was, you know, dyeing my hair, you know, when I was older. That was a safe expression of rebellion, but I still had to like, So growing up, you know, I was in this school because it made her look good to have a child in an artistic school. But when it came to any of the extracurricular activities or any auditions that were sent to the school, I wasn't allowed to go on any of them because she didn't want to drive me there, or she didn't want me to do it because that would be a commitment, or that meant I might thrive. I might actually do well at something that I enjoy. I might actually enjoy something. So there was none of that. And when all the other kids in my class were getting to go and audition to things like Degrassi Junior High, which I knew most of the cast in that show, I was not allowed to. I was not. And so when 2 years ago, when all of these things started coming in and, you know, I was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm going to be an actress. This is who I was always meant to be. And then in January, I had an audition for a role that was me. It was me. It was like, they wanted me. It was for a whiskey company. And they're like, I need you to go to the bar and order a drink. And I'm like, that's who I was for 30 years. You want me to act me? Oh, but wait a second, that's not me anymore because I don't drink anymore. I don't go to bars anymore. And this is flashing back. So it was like, again, one of those inception moments of a dream within a dream within a dream, except it's only awakening within awakening within awakening, because spiritually I'm like, I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing. You're trying to show me that, you know, I don't need to be that person anymore. Those dreams have come full circle. I can wrap it all up. I can tie it with a bow, and like the dream to be an actress, it's gone. Like that's not an aspiration of mine anymore, because I allowed the timeline of that teenager, the timeline to come back into unification. I allowed the timeline of the cool chick to come back into unification. So now I don't know who I am, because I'm not any of these old timelines that I've allowed to come. So the wounded child has been comforted into like calm. She's no longer terrified. You know, I still have fear, but the terror that I experienced over the last 3 years as memories surface, because when they come back in, they're coming back in with the trauma, not just with the dreams. So you have to give them everything that they need to merge, everything that they need. So what am I feeling right here, right now, that I didn't get then? Okay, I'm going to give myself that. I needed nurturance. I'm going to give myself that. I needed validation. I'm going to give myself that. I needed a black bomber jacket with orange interior. I'm going to give myself that. I needed an agent. I'm going to give myself that. I needed to write and express myself into the world. I'm going to give myself that. So what I wanted to share with you today is all about making you focus on what you didn't get and then giving it to yourself now. So question 1, in any moment of the day, but especially in the moments that you're triggered, what do I need right now? What didn't I get then that I need now? And then part 2 is give it to yourself. Just give it to yourself. That has been the biggest healing of them all. That practice of allowing my wounded aspects of selves to become integrated back in the soul retrieval by listening, by holding space, by nurturance, by letting them have a life. Letting yourself have the life that you always wanted to have but didn't. And it's going to go super fast, and you're going to be like, oh, wow, I just lived out some of my childhood dreams. I just lived out some of my adolescent dreams. Well, now that I've lived out those dreams, what's next? What's next? Maturation. That's what's next. Is you mature into bigger dreams. You mature into like more profound dreams. So now my next dream is to go on a cruise with Gabor Mate. I'm not going to show up for a cruise with Gabor Mate wearing my 14-year-old self. No. That's going to require a full integration of me. So I've got 13 months to fully integrate any other lingering me's that didn't get to have a life, didn't get to have safety, didn't get to have communication, didn't get to have understanding, didn't get to have compassion, didn't get to have whatever it was. I'm going to give it to myself. This next 13 months is a profound commitment of choosing me and giving me all of the things that I always deserved and didn't get, and giving me the space to grow, to learn, to mature, to everything, anything. I'm excited, and that's amazing in itself. That's like remarkable because it's been so fucking challenging. But I am excited to have new dreams, new aspirations, and to open myself to the possibility. Because when you're carrying a lifetime of broken timelines that didn't get to come to their fruition, and wounded children that are acting out of the shadows, and shadows that are dictating, and disassociation because it's all too much to even look at, and substance use, and everything else to keep the suffering numbed out and at bay. That's not living. That's not living. That's surviving. And I'm not, there's no judgment. I did the best I could. With what I was handed, I did the best I could. And so if the best I could was, smoking as a survival mechanism, or alcohol as a means to like attempt connection, because I'd never had healthy connection. How do you have healthy connection if you've never been modeled it? If you didn't get healthy connection from your parents, if you suffered severe abandonments from your birth parents and then your adoptive parents abused you, how do you develop healthy connection? You don't. What you do is you develop maladaptive coping strategies to help you survive in the world. And we will grab onto anything and everything to take the pain and the suffering away. And the only way through the pain and suffering is through the pain and suffering. is to sit in it, is to feel it, is to cry, is to get angry about it, is to like experience it fully, and then give yourself what you always needed that you didn't get then. So what is it today? What is it that you need today that you needed also back then, because it's a reflection, that you didn't get? Then give it to yourself. Give it to yourself, because if we seek outside of ourselves, then we get fucked up like I was. Okay? If you seek outside of yourself for validation, you draw in shitty friends. If you seek outside of yourself for comfort and compassion, then you end up marrying a fuckhead who did horrible things to me. So don't do that. Don't seek outside of yourself. Seek it inside of yourself. Seek it inside of yourself, because when you learn that trick of giving yourself what it is that you needed then and what it is that you need now, there is no attachment to others, which puts you in a position of being able to finally protect yourself, so you don't need to wear a shield to protect your heart. Because, you know, I can protect my heart. I can protect my heart. I can protect myself. I can honor all of myself. Every single last one of them. From the child in the womb that was unwanted, to the 2-year-old that was lost, confused, and terrified, to the 3-year-old that had experiences that she should never have experienced, to the young child growing up getting hit. Whatever it is that happened or didn't happen that caused trauma, you are your own guru. You are the solution. You can give it to yourself and you can heal. Am I healed? No, I'm not. I got 13 more months to try to get myself as close to that as possible. And even then, I won't be fully healed until I get my certificate to say, get out of here, grow my wings and fly off. You know? So until that day comes, I'm going to keep on at it every single day, working on what can I give to my body right now? What can I give to my inner child right now? What can I give to my mind right now to soothe that little fucker? What can I give to my spiritual self? What can I give to my environment? What can I do that I need to make me feel safe, loved, appreciated, cared for, empathized with, chosen, this, that, and the other? And I'm the answer. I am the answer, just like you are the answer to you. It's not out there. It isn't. It's in here. It's in here. And I'm going to keep on giving myself everything that I need. And it doesn't matter if I look crazy to other people, or I sound crazy to other people, or I sound like one of those screaming mermaid balls that I talked about. I don't care. This is my life, and I'm going to live it as fully as possible and break as many cycles as possible and heal as many wounds as possible and let go of as many attachments as possible. I'm just kind of hooked. I'm hooked on healing. Hooked on healing. And it's hard as fuck. So I'm no nonsense here. I'm not going to fill your life full of nonsense and fairy tales. Doing this work is hard as fuck. But you wouldn't be here doing it if you didn't have the warrior in you. You just wouldn't. If you're watching me, you got the warrior in you. I hope today's video helps, and I'm loving and saying goodbye to my inner 14-year-old skater dude that has lived in my heart for a long time, wanting to be cool. And I'm growing up now, and I don't know what's next for me in regards to fashion, future. Not really into fashion, to be honest. Never happened. But you know what I'm saying. You've seen my look change a million times. A little crazy. I can't even look back. I can't. Especially the videos with makeup on my face. I can't even. But I respect and I honor that person in me. But I don't know who she is. She is a past. She's the past and I am the present. And that's all that really matters. Is who I am today. Well, there's my video. Sending you all lots of love out there. This is hard fucking work, and I honor you for every single deep dive you do, and every single integration you do, and everything else that you do. Peace. In.